If you want to redo your room, we're talking total makeover here, what's the best game plan? Would you paint one wall, hang a poster on it, unroll the rug, paint another wall, then hang a second poster? No, that's not very efficient at all. A much better game plan would be to prioritize the tasks and then complete one at a time before you move on to the next. So paint all the walls, then unroll the rug, and then put up the posters. When you're tackling dual reading passages on the ACT, you want to use the same kind of strategy. Make a game plan and then prioritize the tasks and finish one before you move on to the next. That way you can take something that's really overwhelming at first and break it down so you can move efficiently and effectively toward all the correct answers. One of the 4 passages you'll see on the ACT reading test is a dual passage. It's 2 sub-passages and then a set of 10 multiple choice questions. Now, when you see this at first, it looks totally overwhelming. There's all this text and there are all these questions, but if you strategize and prioritize, you can totally make it manageable. So within the set of questions, there are 3 types of questions. There are questions that deal only with passage A, questions that deal only with passage B, and then questions that deal with both passages. So let's prioritize. The first step is to preview the questions. Check out what questions deal with what parts of this dual passage section. If there are 5 questions that deal only with passage A and only 2 questions that deal only with passage B, you want to start with passage A first and attack that, because that's going to get you the most points the most quickly. The next thing you want to do is to work the more heavily tested passage. So in this case, if you have 5 questions that deal only with passage A, you want to jump right into dealing with passage A. Before you start to answer those questions, reorder them in chronological order. That way, when you're dealing with them, you can refer to the passage back and forth as you work your way through. Next thing you're going to do is work the other passage, dealing with it just like a single passage. Again, you want to reorder the questions in chronological order. And then the last thing you do is deal with the questions that deal with both. In this case, you're now looking for the golden thread and any connections that can be drawn between the passages. Think about those first, what common themes or what contrasts there are, and then work through those questions last. If you can stick to this strategy, then from that point on, dealing with any individual question is just like dealing with a question from a single passage. But this is going to help you get organized before you dive in. Whether it's giving your room a makeover or tackling dual passages on the ACT, you need the same approach. Divide the work into tasks, prioritize those tasks, and then finish one task completely before you move on to the next. Most importantly, don't get overwhelmed. If you combine this strategy with your personal order of difficulty, you'll have no problem conquering dual passages on the ACT.